As more children arrive at the southern border on their own, some will now be housed at the San Diego Convention Center. How long they're expected to stay.
The investigation continues after this man climbed into the San Diego Zoo's elephant exhibit with his young daughter. One of the world's foremost elephant experts helps explain the elephant's response.
They were engaged over Zoom just after the pandemic began last year. A local couple explains how they've remained positively San Diego after the ups and downs of this past year.
ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
But first, at least 6 people have been killed after a gunman opened fire in a Colorado grocery store, including a Boulder police officer. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. The White House says that President Biden has been briefed on this situation. Our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl joins us from the Live Center with the very latest details. Derek.
Well, good evening. Boulder police say they do have a person of interest in custody and there is no ongoing public threat. They are still briefing members of the media live right now. Our sister station, KMGH, is reporting at least 6 people have been killed at the King Soopers grocery store in Boulder. Want to show you a little bit of video from earlier. Police, though, at the briefing just now, they have not confirmed the exact number. They say it's just too early on in the investigation. This all started around 2:30 this afternoon. Witnesses say a gunman walked into the store on Table Mesa and started firing without saying anything. And video by a bystander actually shows one person down in the parking lot, another person down just outside the front door, and a third person down inside the store. Now, as for the person of interest, video recorded by the scene, I want to show you in the Live Center here. It shows a man led away in handcuffs. He did not have a shirt, he did not have shoes, and he was bleeding. Police say their person of interest is being treated for injuries right now. They're going to be questioned as well. Another point of business I want to clear up. Police sent out a tweet this afternoon urging people in a nearby neighborhood to shelter in place. Well, after investigating that, it was a potentially armed and dangerous person with a gun. They say that that was not connected to the shooting out here at King Soopers. Meantime, they say the crime scene folks have gotten into the store and they're now processing the scene and gathering evidence. A lot of investigation to come. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
Still so much to unravel. Derek, thank you. The convention center has helped put a roof over the heads of hundreds of homeless people during the pandemic. Now it's about to shelter migrant children who have shown up at the border without their parents. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura joins us live on this story where the homeless population is being moved to other shelters to put those kids in this week. Anthony.
That's right. It was the plan all along to close that homeless shelter that's been operating here at the convention center since about the start of the pandemic, and the move is on track to be completed by the end of the week. Now the convention center will be used to help another group of people. The federal government has reported a surge of migrant children coming from Central and South America. According to ABC News, more than 15,000 children are being held in crowded border facilities. Local officials say they got a request from the federal government to help with the situation, to help the children as they are moved from Customs and Border Protection into Health and Human Services.
I've been told that 90% of these children, again, have a family member or sponsor here in the United States. So it's a matter of kind of safely processing them, connecting them, and moving them. But again, there's a lot of details still left to be worked out.
Now, once the site is operational, it will be used to house unaccompanied minors for about 3 months. The average stay for each child will be about 30 to 35 days, and it will provide food, medical care, sleeping arrangements, and showers. Now, Congressman Darrell Issa released a statement that was critical of the move. It read, in part, the opening of the convention center isn't a long-term plan or even a short-term solution. It's proof positive that although only 2 months old, the Biden administration has caused a historic crisis on our borders. And at this point, there is no timeline given as to when the children will be coming. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
Anthony, thank you. This photo by Democratic Representative Henry Cuellar is raising questions about the situation at the border. Cuellar says these so-called pods in Donna, Texas are designed to hold about 260 people, but he says as of Sunday, one had more than 400 boys without their parents. Cuellar says he wants to raise awareness of this situation. And turning now to coronavirus in San Diego County, our 14-day rolling average for positive cases appears to have leveled off. It fell below 3% about a week ago, has not moved since. And there were just under 200 new local cases reported today, about 4% of all tests reported. And as is normal for a Monday, there were no new deaths reported. However, we may have crossed a grim threshold this week. Just under 3,500 San Diegans have died from this virus. Local restaurants are calling their first weekend open in the red tier a success.
It's really been awesome to have people back inside. There are definitely some, adjustment pains that we're going through, but overall, it just feels right.
Sean Hale is general manager at El Cruce at 241 in Chula Vista. He says bringing customers inside this weekend went pretty well considering. He added that people were glad to come in from the patio, but as we reported last week, Hale and other local restaurants are struggling to fill some of the positions they have open.
Another new vaccination site is opening in San Diego at Viejas Arena on SDSU's campus. It will open tomorrow after the university partnered with the county. The timing will help fill the gap left behind after the Petco Park site closed permanently this past weekend. County leaders expect up to 700 vaccines to be given every day during the first week of opening. The site will be open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 9:30 to 3:30. Appointments are required. Not everyone who is eligible to get the vaccine can easily get to one of the clinics. Today, the Veterans Village of San Diego brought the vaccine to its residents. The organization worked with the San Diego VA, which brought a mobile clinic to Veterans Village. Organization leaders say they exceeded expectations today.
We've had more veterans show up than have signed up to participate today. So we have several veterans who, their roommates are going back onto the campus and letting them know about the experience that they had.
The VA and Veterans Village say they were offering the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine today. You can track the latest coronavirus developments with the ABC 10 News app. You can find it for free in the App Store. The San Diego Zoo says it's investigating after a man was arrested after being caught on camera sneaking into the elephant enclosure. He had his 2-year-old child with him and just managed to avoid the charging female elephant. ABC 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty spoke to one of the world's foremost elephant specialists who happens to live right here in San Diego.
Jaw-dropping moments when a father holding his 2-year-old daughter enters the elephant enclosure at the San Diego Zoo. The elephant charges as the man struggles to get to safety, dropping his child. 25-year-old Jose Manuel Navarrete was arrested. He told police he slipped past 2 barriers for a selfie with his daughter. He faces charges of suspicion of child endangerment.
It made me so upset. This guy and his daughter are so lucky to be alive.
Dr. Caitlin O'Connell is a faculty member at Harvard Medical School studying elephants in the wild for 30 years. She is also an award-winning author and producer of the Smithsonian documentary Elephant King. She explains the elephant's reaction.
She's running at him. She throws her head forward, a head thrust, very aggressive, and also has the bottom of her trunk in a fist, which is another additional level of escalation of how upset she is. And then she emits this very escalated trumpeting.
Dr. O'Connell says female elephants like this one have strong protective instincts who rely on sound and smell over sight. And there's little distance here for her to stop.
Elephants don't like to have something unusual in their environment. She could easily have followed through and trampled both of them.
The other danger, the electrified fence.
He subjects his daughter to an electric fence. Some of those fences are very, very powerful.
Dr. O'Connell says the incident was no doubt traumatic for the elephant, whose main instinct is to defend, not to hurt.
It's very unfair for animals to have to be subject. They need to know that they have that safe place that you can't get across.
Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
The San Diego Zoo declined our requests for interviews today, saying it's a legal investigation and it cannot comment. San Diego police are handling the investigation. The father will be arraigned later this month. The elephants and the father and daughter were not hurt. We have posted our entire interview with Dr. O'Connell on our website, 10news.com.
The last standing piece of the decades-old stadium in Mission Valley was brought down with a resounding crash today. Crews now have a clean slate to begin with as they start construction on the new stadium, the future home of the Aztecs football and the West Campus. We're told much of the leftover concrete and asphalt from the old stadium will be reused in construction of that new site. The new stadium is estimated to be completed by fall of next year.